Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently got a chance to see Blade Runner, Blade Runner 2049. And honestly, I absolutely loved it. There were some moments in the film itself, it's a very long movie, granted, but there are some scenes that are a little deliberate. Sort of like some scenes in Twin Peaks. If you're used to that, then yeah, this will be right up your alley. It's really done artistically and more for suspense and just kind of teasing you a little bit, I think, as the viewer. But I noticed that there were a lot of lighting, a lot of decisions done with lighting that I thought were absolutely just brilliant. Just it blew my mind, and a lot of the SFX, it was just mind-boggling. I thought it's nothing compared to what they did with the original Blade Runner, but Blade Runner, the original, is a classic, and this is no exception. My only nag is, of course, there's some scenes that were just a little bit, cumbersome, lumbersome, and sloth-like. But despite that, that's why I'm giving it 4 stars. I almost give it 5, but of course, I like to get to the point when it comes to plot. So it sort of doesn't do that, but it's a very interesting plot in and of itself that I'm not going to go into, because when you watch it from the beginning, it gives the story of what happened before in the original Blade Runner and what's happening in 2049. And what I noticed right away, of course, Hans Zimmer, one of my favorites. And I mean, I could recognize, I thought, yeah, I'm pretty sure, even though it's very electronica and very kind of raw and digital and not unlike Oblivion. It's really reminiscent of that. It reminded me of Armitage the Third. I thought, I think this is where the creators got their inspiration. At least that's what it felt like to me. It seemed like something that would have given them a lot of just design and infrastructure for. I mean, the buildings were just incredible, and the car design, every little detail is what I really enjoy about this film. Just the idea of technology, and Ryan Gosling is absolutely tremendous. He is phenomenal. So is Harrison, but I'm not going to talk about Harrison too much because it would be a massive plot point that I'm not going to get into right away, because it's extremely important. It's integral to plot. But it is an apocalyptic world. You've got too much dependence on technology. Of course, Philip K. Dick did this so incredibly well. It's just positively, astronomically done. And it's a cautionary tale. And it shows you what happens when technology takes over. And of course, there are bees in the movie. And I thought, yeah, 01001. Of course, that makes sense. And then you have the binary code versus the code of ACGT, which makes us up. That's our DNA. And it's very, very intriguing how Wallace, he doesn't name his Wallace, his hologram, but Kay doesn't. That's the cop. But she notices that right away and later on, and I'm not going to say why that's important, but it's a very, very, very meticulous point that just brings the film to a crux, and you think, oh my gosh, they've hit upon something, and then you learn what that is. But the movie in and of itself is just, it's really quite gorgeous to look at. It's glorious. It's just surreal. It's very bizarre. There are a lot of things in it that are just like a Twin Peaks episode. It's really, really unusual. It's unique. It's unlike anything I've seen before. As I said before, I mentioned Oblivion. It really has a lot of similarity with Oblivion or Elysium. It also brings that to mind, but more Oblivion than anything else, just because the music and Susan Sunfor. It sort of reminds me of her voice. I forget the name of the band that she sings for, but my friend in Norway introduced me to her before she became really huge, just like Elvis. I thought, now I know something hip and cool that everybody knows now. But it's a film that comes across as kind of like an art film or experimental film, but yet it has that sort of, it's almost eerie in a way, because it teases you, like I said. It permeates that whole philosophy as what is real, what is reality. Are we implanted with memories? Did our memories come from us, or are we just a composite? And I thought, oh no, please no. My brain, it hurts. But now we're getting into ethical questions and philosophical questions and existentialism and so many other questions that I cannot possibly answer, because it's all that one inquiry that man has been asking: what makes me real, and versus what is life, basically. And this film really tackles that, and it's still messing with me, to be honest with you. My whole perspective was shifted, and there are a lot of things that I thought were just really quite brilliantly done. And like I said, it's crisp, it's dark, it's gritty, it's realistic, and I like the fact that they don't sugarcoat anything. And it's kind of like the Wild Wild West, but in a very futuristic setting. And it's a warning, I think. I think that Philip really was trying to warn people, don't let this be your crutch. You'll be sorry. And if you put me in such a position to start running around a spin cycle in my grave, don't say I didn't warn you. That kind of thing. It's just obligatory and very preachy that he does that. But I like the fact that this also has a lot of biblical references, especially to that of Old Testament. And I won't go into why, but it's I kept thinking it, and I thought, are they going to say anything? And then they finally did, and I thought, I knew it. And I thought maybe I'm the only one who knows my Old Testament well, but it was so blatant. And of course, there was a lot of symbolism that I really found just completely mesmerizing. I was just glued. I thought, oh, that's why they're using that, and this was used for that purpose. And the question is, was it real? That's one thing that's kind of bugging me a little bit. But it was just tremendously done. A terrific film. I would say a little long. Had it not been so terribly long, I would have given it a perfect score. But the length kind of ruined it for me a little bit. But not to the point where I say I hate it. I love the movie. I thought the movie was absolutely awesome. It was so cool. It was the most incredible thing that I've seen in a good long while, save for Valerian. 2 thumbs way up, 4 stars, sorry, not 5, 4 stars, just because length. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. So until next time, live long and prosper. Ciao, tutti.